Imagine walking into a meeting with investors, but instead of the CEO giving the presentation, an artificial intelligence does it. Sounds like science fiction, right? For decades, raising money for a startup has always been a human job. Founders spend months creating presentations, answering investor questions, negotiating deals, and building relationships. It's one of the most important parts of building a company. But one startup decided to try something completely different. Instead of keeping AI in the background, it allowed its own AI agent to take part in raising an incredible $100 million. The experiment immediately caught the attention of the technology world. Could AI really help convince investors? Can a machine negotiate million-dollar deals? And is this a glimpse of how businesses will operate in the future? Let's find out. Before we understand why this story is important, let's first talk about fundraising. When a startup wants to grow, it usually needs money, sometimes millions of dollars, sometimes hundreds of millions. That money often comes from venture capital firms. These investors provide funding in exchange for ownership in the company. But raising money isn't easy. Founders must prepare detailed presentations, explain their technology, answer difficult questions, share financial plans, describe future goals, and convince investors that the company is worth betting on. This process can take months, sometimes even longer. It's stressful, competitive, and incredibly demanding. Now imagine asking artificial intelligence to help, not just by writing emails or creating slides, but by actually participating in the fundraising process. That's exactly what happened. According to recent reports, AI startup 11x allowed its own AI sales agent to assist during its $100 million fundraising round. The AI agent handled parts of investor communication, answered routine questions, scheduled meetings, and demonstrated the company's technology in real-world use, while the human leadership team remained in control of final decisions. The funding round valued the company at more than $2 billion. At first, that sounds unbelievable. Why would investors accept that? The answer is surprisingly logical. Remember, 11 times builds AI agents. Its business depends on convincing customers that AI agents can perform real work. What better way to prove that than using one during the company's own fundraising? Instead of simply saying, "Our AI works," they demonstrated it. It's similar to a chef serving food at a restaurant. You don't just describe your cooking, you let people taste it. 11 times let investors experience its product directly. Of course, the AI didn't negotiate contracts by itself, it didn't make final business decisions, and it certainly didn't replace the company's founders. Instead, it handled repetitive tasks that normally consume enormous amounts of time. Think about how many questions investors ask. Can you send the latest presentation? Can we schedule another meeting? Where is this document? Can you explain this feature? Many of those requests follow similar patterns. AI agents are becoming increasingly good at handling that type of work. This allowed the founders to spend more time focusing on high-level strategy and personal conversations with investors. In other words, the AI became an assistant, not the CEO. That's an important distinction. One of the biggest trends in artificial intelligence today is moving from chatbots to AI agents. A chatbot answers questions. An AI agent performs actions. It sends emails, schedules meetings, updates databases, prepares reports, coordinates tasks, and works across multiple software tools. Think of it like hiring a digital employee. Instead of sitting idle until someone types a question, the AI actively completes work. That's why so many startups are now building AI agents instead of simple chatbots. Another reason this story matters is because fundraising itself is changing. Traditionally, investors wanted polished presentations. Today, many also want proof. Can the product actually solve real problems? Can it save time? Can it reduce costs? Can it scale? By using its own AI during fundraising, 11 times showed confidence in its technology. It demonstrated that the product wasn't just a concept, it was already useful. Artificial intelligence is becoming increasingly important for businesses of every size. Small companies use AI to answer customer questions. Medium-sized businesses automate paperwork. Large corporations analyse massive amounts of data. The next step is giving AI more responsibility. Not replacing people, but helping them accomplish more. Imagine a sales team. Instead of spending hours scheduling appointments, searching for documents, and sending follow-up emails, an AI agent handles those repetitive tasks automatically. The sales team focuses on building relationships. Everyone becomes more productive. That's exactly the future many AI companies are trying to build. Of course, there are limits. Artificial intelligence still makes mistakes. It can misunderstand requests, generate incorrect information, or fail in unexpected situations. That's why human supervision remains essential. In the case of this fundraising round, people still made the important decisions. The AI simply handled supporting work. And that's probably where AI agents will have the biggest impact in the near future. Helping people, not replacing them. Another interesting part of this story is what it says about trust. Just a few years ago, most investors would probably have laughed at the idea of an AI helping raise millions of dollars. Today, they see it as innovation. That change happened incredibly fast. Artificial intelligence has moved from an experimental technology to a serious business tool. Competition is also driving rapid progress. OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Microsoft, and hundreds of startups are racing to build better AI agents. Every month, these systems become more capable. They understand instructions better, use software more effectively, and complete increasingly complex tasks. Looking ahead, experts believe AI agents could eventually become standard business tools. Imagine starting your workday. Your AI has already answered emails, scheduled meetings, prepared reports, summarized important news, organized documents, and highlighted your highest priority tasks. Instead of replacing your job, it removes much of the repetitive work. That future may be closer than many people realize. The biggest lesson from this story isn't really about raising $100 million. It's about confidence. When a company trusts its own AI enough to use it during one of the most important moments in its history, that's a powerful statement. Whether AI agents eventually transform every workplace remains to be seen, but one thing is becoming increasingly clear. Artificial intelligence is no longer just answering questions. It's starting to participate in real business operations, and that could completely change how companies are built, managed, and grown over the next decade. If you enjoyed this video and want more easy to understand videos about AI, startups, business, and the latest technology news, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.